Alright, so here we have a Polish Fire Brigade ration. And this is basically part of it's more or less a 24-hour ration, but it comes in 3 separate bags. They're actually color-coded. This is the breakfast portion of the ration, and the other 2 meals, the lunch and the dinner, come in blue and red bags. And as you can see here, it was made by Arpol, the same company that makes the rations for the Polish military. And from what I've heard, these Fire Brigade rations correspond pretty closely to the military versions. So of course this is only 1 meal, this is only the breakfast. Considering that it's kind of a heavy bag, considering this is only 1/3 of your 24 hours. And I figured why don't we take a look at how much this actually weighs before we open it up. And I wouldn't say it's excessively heavy, just the fact that it's the breakfast portion of a 24-hour ration and be 2 other meals along with this. And it comes out to exactly 1 pound, or 16 ounces, or 454 grams. My guess is that the other 2 meals would probably be heavier, but this is the only one that I've ever had. I'll put some links down below to some other reviews of these breakfast and the lunch and dinner menus. I know Delicious has reviewed some, and I know that Old Smoky has done a couple of reviews on these. And so as I said, this is menu 1A. I believe the A is for breakfast, so it'd be A, B, and C would be your 3 meals, and then the 1 would be the different menus. But we can see back here, actually we can see we have this seal for the Fire Brigade. That's kind of cool. And some information down here, which I don't know what that says. And on the back, we have the saving grace for me. It's in Polish and English. So we have breakfast number A1. And it has the components, has a complete list of all the components in here. But we won't go over that because we're going to open it up and take a look anyway. And it does have a Best By date of May 30th, 2018. Reviewing this in the middle of May, so it's just before the Best By date. And it doesn't have the date that it was packed on, but of course these international rations that aren't meant to last more than about a year or 2, in some cases, not quite as shelf stable as an MRE, the most important thing you want to know is the Best By date. A little more information here. And I guess that's all we need to know, the front and the back, and we'll go ahead and open this up and check it out. It does not have a peelable seal, but it's interesting, it's sealed twice here. It actually has a seal going across here and here. This is like double sealed for your safety. Since I've never had one of these before, I'm going to try and open this in a way that I can keep the bag. Alright, so you see there's not a ton of stuff in here. This is going to be basically our main dish here, our entree. And it's some kind of a canned meat product, like a luncheon meat, I guess. Looks like it has a Best By date of February 2019. We also have some biscuits. We have 2 packs of 2 hard biscuits. As they call them, special biscuits. It'll be basically like tank treads. Probably kind of tough on the teeth. And let me see here. They're both the same, but it's interesting. This one, you can see, I believe these are caraway seeds in this one. They must all have that, but this is the only one it's visible on. These have a Best By date. Looks like April 10th, 2019. And this is, I believe, the thing, this is 100 grams. This is a little bit of weight, but I think this is the main thing that's kind of giving this some extra weight. It's a nice, large tube of sweetened condensed milk. I have a feeling that a military ration would probably have a smaller tube in it. But since it is for the Fire Brigade, I'm guessing they don't necessarily need to worry about weight as much. Carrying a little bit extra weight on a fire truck or for a short amount of time probably isn't as big of a deal as it would be for soldiers. And this does not say a lot on it, but this would be a cereal and fruit bar, apricot flavor. They have it in Polish, French, and English. There's a Best By date on it of, looks like October 7th, 2018. Sorry, and it's 100 grams on the sweetened condensed milk. And we have a cutlery kit in its own little bag. This is pretty complete. Wow, this is really complete. It has a fork, a spoon, a knife, and a second larger spoon. And these are all pretty lightweight. Obviously they're just made for 1 meal and then be tossed. And they have these little pointed ends. And we have a fruit jam. Best By date of October 2018. 25 grams. And a little accessory kit here in its own little zip top pouch. So you have 2 little Ziploc bags in here. You reuse those if you need to. Good for keeping stuff dry once the outer bag is open. We have salt and pepper, a Be Fresh moist wipe, moist towelette. Looks like it's lemon scented, that's nice. We have a little candy, say Dickey. 2 packs of white sugar, 10 grams each. This is going to be instant coffee. A tea bag, Valador, stick of chewing gum, and this is a little, just a little very light plastic bag. This could be for trash. This was going to be the, I mean, if you had unused components, you could just put them back in here, but I'm guessing basically a trash bag. Alright, and here's everything all laid out. Not a ton of food, but like I said, this is only the breakfast portion of a 3-meal, 24-hour ration, so it's really not too bad. And you do have 100 grams of the sweetened condensed milk, so that's kind of giving you a lot right there. I think the last 2 comments I had before we go ahead and try this out is that I'm thinking I actually probably wouldn't have minded having even more crackers, because I have a feeling not only are they going to be good just to have something to crunch on, but they're going to go good with the sweetened condensed milk, they're going to go good with the fruit jam, and they're going to go good with the canned meat. Basically almost everything that you eat in here except for the fruit bar could go on the crackers. And the last thing is to talk one more time about the cutlery, and the fact that they include 2 spoons. This is kind of funny, because I thought this was a huge spoon, but it actually corresponds with the size of the fork and the knife. And instead, this is actually a teeny tiny little spoon. I'm guessing that's probably for stirring your coffee and tea. That seems a little unnecessary, but kind of a nice little touch. Alright, and it looks like other than hot water for the coffee and tea, you don't really need to heat anything up. It's basically a ready-to-eat meal. Take a look at this canned meat. Apparently it's pork and beef with some spices. You can check some of that stuff out on Google Translate, but not everything. And let's see, here we go. We have a little luncheon loaf. And some fat across the top there. Looks like a little bit of kind of like gelatin in there too. And that smells good. It smells like Spam. Basically, although it's interesting that it's pork and beef, it really does kind of have a canned ham sort of a smell to it. But I guess all these potted meats kind of smell the same anyway. It's very processed and probably has the same kind of spices and additives that Spam would have. Obviously, if you heated this up, that little gelatin there would probably melt, and it may look a little bit more appetizing, but looks fine. Looks like potted meat. Take a look at the fruit jam. It's dinged up a little bit, but it seems to be still sealed. And you can see some seeds in there. I'm thinking this may be doesn't have too much of a smell to it, but I guess apparently there is raspberries. It's the one thing I can get off of the ingredients here, and that would explain the seeds. I was going to say strawberry, but it looks like it's raspberry. It's got a little bit of liquid on the top, but it certainly looks like it's in fine shape. We also have the sweetened condensed milk. We'll open that when we, I'm guessing it has, yeah, we'll open that when we're ready to use it. And the, check out the fruit bar. So this is apricot. Oh, it's interesting. There's a little piece of paper on it. Sort of nice. It has this little edible paper almost on it that kind of keeps it from being so sticky. It smells nice. It smells like sort of a generic kind of fruit. I guess it's a little bit apricot-like, but it's sort of like those soft granola bars we have in the U.S. I guess if it weren't apricot, if it was a little bit different, it almost smells kind of like a Fig Newton, but obviously it's an apricot smell rather than a fig smell, but that should be good. I'm going to try out these crackers or open them up. They're not broken at all, and it's sort of not too hard to believe because they're very sturdy, very hardy. As we say, tank shreds. Oh yeah, definitely getting the smell from the caraway seeds. I don't know if I would say this is sweet or savory, but I think we're going to need all of these. I guess we'll just make up our beverages and be ready to eat. All right, I have the tea bag over here. I'll put the coffee in this one. Not too much of a smell coming off there. Nice fine powder. And although we do have the sugars, I'm not going to put anything in these yet because, of course, we also have the sweetened condensed milk, and I definitely want to be able to experience that. So we'll check these out on their own first, and then we'll sweeten them as necessary. dainty spoon for that. It smells good. Alright, let's try out breakfast. Let me take a bite of this Apricot Bar first. That's good. You definitely get a little blast of the fruit flavor, the apricot. Otherwise, it's kind of like your standard fruit bar. Obviously, it has some grains in there, some oats or something like that. Little things that make it a little bit crunchy. And this covering doesn't seem to have any flavor, but it is nice to be able to hold this without getting sticky. It's a pretty nice bar. I'm try or attempt. Wow. To try one of these biscuits on its own. There's nothing wimpy about these. That is very difficult to bite into. I think it might be a better idea to just break these up and pop in your mouth so you don't break your teeth. I think you can kind of see the caraway seeds in there. They really kind of give it the flavor. Otherwise it's pretty bland overall. Definitely seems like it's going to be better with something on it. And luckily we have a lot of stuff to put on these. Let's see. Since we have so much cutlery, let me see if we can cut out a little piece of the canned meat here. Take a look at that. Yep, very processed. It kind of looks like I just did a 1987 ham and chicken loaf, and it actually kind of looks like that. It's not quite as smooth as Spam. It has a little bit more texture to it. Very soft, and surprisingly, it's actually a little bland. It's not bad. I would say, if anything, I might be a little bit disappointed with this. I wonder if you mix some of this gelatin in with it, if it's a little bit. That's probably really salty. I expected the whole thing to be really salty. And then, yeah, it's surprisingly on the bland side. But I think throwing some on one of these tank treads here, this will change things. Well, these things are very hard to eat, I have to say. That is the right way to go with it, put it on a cracker, but I almost wish it was just a regular cracker rather than one of these insanely hard biscuits. It kind of makes up for the soft smoothness of this. This is almost like it's not quite a paste, but it's almost along those lines because it's so soft. You can probably spread this. Yeah, you can sort of see there's different meats in there. I know it said there's pork and beef, I believe, and you kind of see some slightly different colors in there. Alright, that is what it is. I'm going to use this dainty spoon for the jelly. Try a little bit of that on its own. Oh, yeah, it's definitely raspberry jelly, raspberry jam. That's very good. It's very sweet. Once again, I think it's going to be the perfect thing to go on a cracker. And once again, I think these crackers are not the perfect cracker for them, just because they're such teeth breakers. But I'm sure if you're in the Polish Fire Brigade or Polish military, you're used to these, so they're just fine. And that is excellent, other than the difficulty of trying to get through the cracker. You kind of like expect to bite into it, and you have to like bite it like 4 times before you can actually get through the cracker. But this jam is really good. And probably also, even though this is already fruit flavored with the apricot, probably wouldn't be bad on the fruit bar too. Nope. Nothing wrong with that. I'll try this coffee. I'm no coffee expert, so to me basically instant coffee is instant coffee. And that's good. It's got a nice strong flavor to it. I filled the mug up pretty good, but it still has a lot of flavor. It's not watered down or anything. And actually, while we're here, let's try out the tea too. So then I can start adding in the sweetened condensed milk. I think that's going to be possibly the star of this ration. Always a popular item, but let's try it on its own first. And that's good too. It's a pretty strong tea. Get it steeping for a little while. And I suppose you could also dunk your tank treads into these coffee and tea to soften them up a little bit. Well, even that didn't help. You have to, I guess, dunk them in there for a while. Alright, well, let's try out this sweetened condensed milk. Try a little on its own. Yeah, if you're looking for a little jolt of sweetness, that's the way to go. It can go on anything. I'll try it on the cracker, on the biscuit. Yep, that's good, and you might as well use it because you have 100 grams of it. Try it on here too. Just for the heck of it. It's not necessary, but there's nothing wrong with it. Now let's see how it changes the coffee. It lightens it up. Yeah, that gives it a little bit of sweet kick there. Kind of changes it. Of course, you can add more. But I'm also going to try adding a little bit of sugar too. There's some large grains here. Yeah, it kind of turns it into your standard instant coffee with cream and sugar almost. Not bad. Let me try the tea one more time. Yeah, it's fine on its own. It's just nice that they give you options. You can add some sugar. You can add some sweet condensed milk if you want. Or you could just have it black. Yeah, that's good as well. That's most everything that's in here. Kind of thought the salt and pepper were kind of not necessary. Just throw that in case somebody needs it for whatever. But as I said, I am kind of surprised by how bland this luncheon meat is. This canned pork and beef. I think a little bit of salt and pepper may actually not be a bad thing on that. Let me try some. I can't say I've ever really considered putting salt and pepper on a canned meat product just because they're usually so salty. But in this case, it seems like it might not be a bad idea. Yep, it does help. I can't say there's any complaint about this. I mean, you can see what it is. You can see it's a canned meat. You don't exactly expect fireworks from that, but it's just a little bit surprising it's on the bland side. I'm gonna check out this Dickey Candy. It's pretty sticky. That's an interesting flavor. I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to be. I'm sure a lot of people out there do know. Looking at it, I thought maybe lemon. And when I first started tasting it, I kind of sucked on like a hard candy. And there was some sort of a fruit kind of flavor come off, but I wasn't sure what. And then I realized it actually is pretty soft, and you can chew it. And it definitely seems to be some kind of a citrus, probably lemon. Not bad. And this stick, a very standard looking stick of gum. Doesn't say who it's from or anything. This is to throw the wrapper away. And that's good. I'm not sure exactly what the flavor is, but it's very soft. It's not like biting into one of those old MRE candy-coated gums. You can just chew right into it, and it's pretty mild, understated flavor. Could be spearmint, but as usual with most rations, it's a nice way to clean your mouth after eating. And we'll finish up with the Be Fresh moist wipe, moist towelette. This one doesn't come with any napkins or tissues or toilet paper. So this is what you have to clean up with. And let's see if it has that. Yes, it does have that somewhat lemon smell that sort of cuts the alcohol kind of smell. It's nice. So that was a look at a Polish Fire Brigade ration. There's the breakfast ration, menu 1A, or A1, depending on which side you're looking at. And it's very interesting to check that out. Thank you for watching.